Hello lovely Figaro owners, I'm Tobin, this is the Figaro shop. You guys asked me about touching in chips, so I'm going to make a video today and show you. First, come over to the bench and have a look and I'll show you what I've got. So I've got a pot of lapis grey touch-up paint. We've got some wet and dry sandpaper, 2000 grit. This is a Merca one and a 3M 3000 grit. Tiny bit of water, polishing mop, scalpel or Stanley blade, some masking tape, some rubbing compound. This is like an abrasive. You could buy this in a Motor Factors. Clean microfiber, dirty microfiber, and this is a lapis grey front panel. We are going to have a go at this little chip here in the middle. Now I'll show you a detailed process, but you can just do the first bit, just the touch up if you need to. So first thing we'll do is give the lapis grey touch up a really good shake. You can hear the ball bearing. I've already been shaking it. You can get these in the shop if you need them. Then, because this is quite a small chip, what I'm actually going to do is, rather than using the brush, this has a brush on the end, but rather than using that brush, I'm going to make up my own little dripper. So you can see I'm going to take a bit of the masking paper. I'm just going to fold it into as neat a point as I can, a bit like making a paper aeroplane. Fold it again, and so I've got this little point at the end, and I'm going to take some paint from the inside of the lid where I've been shaking it, and then I'm just going to try and drip it just like that into the chip. I'll put a tiny little bit more on. It doesn't matter if it's raised slightly. And like I say, you can, at this point, you can just wait. But what we're going to do is we're going to get that to dry and then we're going to polish it. So I need about 15 minutes to do that. So by the magic of video editing. Okay, so it's all dried off. Come and have a look. So you can see, so the paint's just raised a little bit around the sides. Now you could leave it at that stage. You could also touch it in again because it will have sunk a little bit. It contracts. So what I'm going to do with this one is give it a polish. So if you just come over to the bench again and have a look. So the reason for the blade is just to give the polisher a clean, because if it was dirty, if there's any dirt on it at all, it will scratch the panel and make it even worse. So the first thing we want to do is get a little bit of this, which is the wet and dry, called wet and dry because it works a little bit better when it's wet. And then we're just going to very slightly just take the bits of paint that aren't inside the chip off from around the edge. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Just that little bit. It will leave it just slightly scratched. Then we're going to use a bit of the rubbing compound. Just put a couple of spots around on the mop, on the polisher. Just going to rub those onto the panel. And then that's it. The only reason I'm using the polisher is just to get the scratches out that the wet and dry caused on the panel. And then I'll give it a rub to clean it up. And then you can see it won't ever be perfect, but it will definitely get rid of that huge white mark that we had at the start. It looks a lot better. And there you go. There's stone chips touched up. Cheers guys, see you soon.